bases loaded, killing, I'm on the road, cause I'm in my zone, everything's a go, destiny's mine, I feel it in my bones, cause I'm in my rocket, 3, 2, 1, I'ma fly away, I'ma blast off, cause I'm in my rocket.
Morning. It is a Tuesday. You already know what it is. We got 4 more days. I really call it 3 because at the end of the day, you know, it's Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? Like, we want to get through this week. If y'all already know, August 7th, I'm already dropping another switch. Be there at 7 p.m. Eastern time. You already know what it is. Between 7 and 7:15 is free. If you decide that you want to still get a situation and a spot in, which I really didn't want to do because I feel like it takes chances away from other people, then okay, cool. From 7:15 to 7:30 has to be a donation. That'll be my Cash App. I'll put that in the description. You know, if you decide that you still want to have a shot, that's going to be $5 to get in for the 7:15 to 7:30. But 7 to 7:15 Eastern time PM is literally going to be free for those who come in. Anything after that, you already know what it is. So I had to re-upload a video. Honestly, I kind of gave y'all a short situation with that. I didn't really give a full explanation of what was happening. I kind of try to piece it really fast. So this is me reinterpreting it again. So this is part 3. So what happened was, after going through the jail situation, after going through everything that I went through, you know, after going to anger management, having to commute back and forth, you know, and pretty much this trial went from 1 to 3. And if anybody knows, after that 3rd trial, you looking at 3 to 5 years if they can't, you know what I'm saying, if they find you guilty, because if it's stagnated, you know, it is what it is. So got to a point where I'm sitting there, whatever, and, you know, I'm at the judge, public attorney's telling me, you know, telling the judge, you know, let him go. This is what the situation is, blah, blah, blah. I'm upset because literally the anger management lady is actually there. You know what I'm saying? She's there. She's chilling, whatever the case may be. And in the process of that, she goes, you know, she kind of whispers, come to find out that they're good friends. Stressful. So she tells me directly how she's been evaluating me the whole 9 yards. You know what I mean? And she remembered the last evaluation that we had. The last evaluation we had, pretty much, you know, I literally just confessed everything that happened. Wasn't trying to cause unnecessary commotion. Was trying to leave out the door. And literally, you know, after being hit 3 times of trying to leave, I was already held, you know, captive the whole 9 yards. You know, after the third punch in the face, I literally pushed out of self-defense. Didn't really want a situation, whatever, whoop-de-whoop. So they realized that my story was, you know, literally solidified. It was the same thing I said over and over again. So in the process of that, the judge looks over, and literally my public attorney says what she says. The judge is like, okay, yeah, we could let him go under one condition. You know, if you go back to this girl, it's going to be an issue. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to have this happen again. Right? So, stressed me out. I was upset, but I was happy that this whole thing happened. Pretty much, I got cleared of all charges. You know, they told me not to go back, whatever the case may be. And I should have took more acknowledgement with that. I didn't go back right away. No, my whole thing was I was seeing another girl at the time. I moved on, did what I had to do, whatever the case may be. Just took care of the kids that I had, right? And then after a while, my mother was just like, yo, I think you need to go ahead and check on the kids at times because I don't think she's, like, doing the part that she's supposed to be doing. I was like, yo, what you talking about? And she was just like, I don't know. Just doesn't seem like she got things on point the way she should. And it kind of scares me for the sake of the children. All right, cool. I would check, whatever the case may be. And, you know, she would tell me one thing, but it was another. And then I remember the apartment that we used to live at. We used to live right across the street from this club. If you know, you know, named Sue's Rendezvous in Mount Vernon. I lived right across the street in those big buildings. I was right across the street. You know what I mean? I met I'm a different person now, but I met Cardi B in there, and I met Amber Rose in there. right? So, she went from that apartment to living in this riggedy, really bad area, this bad house. I mean, literally, I would come check her, and then, like I said, there would be nights with my son, and I wanted to spend time with my daughter. I would sometimes, spend a night, whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? And that was like once in a while, but when I would spend a night, literally, I could see the floor moving. Full of mice. It was terrible. And I just felt, I really felt for my kid's safety and all of that. And, I was just like, I don't think this is going to be a situation moving forward. Now, this is the end of the trilogy of this particular situation that happened to me, whatever the case may be. But this is just this trilogy. It's 2 more trilogies, like literally. No, it's 2 more trilogies, I promise you. But yeah, I got out of jail, did what I had to do, was taking care of my kids, was in a whole different relationship, trying to move forward in my life, and then something stopped. And there was a reason for that to be stopped. And pretty much, if you guys want to hear the next trilogy of my life in my 20s, I'll be more than happy to tell you. But this ends the whole jail situation. If you want to ask questions like in between of how it felt to be in jail for that moment amount of time and what it felt like having to be in a situation where you couldn't work because you worked for the government and you had to really stay out of, when you if somebody bails you out, you can't get into any type of conflict with anybody. You can't have no fights. You can't have no art. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Just imagine, what type of life that was. If you guys want to ask those type of questions, I'm more than happy to answer those for you. Just leave it in the comments or just let me know. People in the Discord, you already know what it is. Your boy Core 187. I'll holla at y'all. Peace.